Okay, I know this is the video that you've been waiting for. This is part 2 of things I'm over in my 50s. I am working on another video and hopefully that one will be out this week. But while I'm home today, I thought I would go ahead and just chat with you about a few things that I am over in my 50s. And I'll go ahead and tell you that some of you are going to listen to some of these and you're not going to agree with me. May even make some of you a little bit mad. Just keep scrolling. If it makes you mad and you don't agree with me, that's fine, because this is not a video about things that you're over. It's about things that I'm over. So, if you don't agree, you don't agree. Didn't write anything down again because, it's one thing when you get to be in your 50s, you forget to do things. So, here we go. So, one of the things that I have been really aggravated with since COVID is the shutdown of all bathrooms in public places. Now, I have friends that own stores and businesses, and I know that the bathrooms can be a problem. I understand that. However, when you are a lady, maybe even a man, I don't know, but for us, when you get to be at this age, you have to go to the bathroom a lot. You just do. That's just part of it. And I have to take allergy medicine and some of the other meds that I'm on. They do make me thirsty. So it's rare that you're going to see me without some kind of drink. I have to do it. I would say especially in the summer, but honestly, it's just all year round. And, I like to shop, and I love to shop at thrift stores and, whatever. And when I'm in these places, I look through everything. So I might be in there a while. So chances are, by the time that I've looked a little bit, see what I'm talking about? Got a drink. I may have to go to the bathroom. And there are a lot of places that still will not let you go to the bathroom. And I've had people, I've been at places and they say, well, just, you can run over to that gas station or whatever. I don't want to run over to the gas station. I don't like going to the bathroom in gas stations, period, anyway. And it's really not because they're not clean, because a lot of them are pretty clean. The main reason that I don't like going is especially in gas stations where they cook food, because y'all know the fried chicken and all that stuff, you're going to smell just like that when you come out. I don't want to smell like it, especially if I just wash my hair. I only wash my hair about once a week, and don't come at me, because if you have curly hair, you get it. I do use products, but I only wash it about once a week. Well, I don't want my hair smelling like fried chicken or fried whatever for the whole week. Plus, I'm not their patron. Why should they, I use their restroom. Why? Why should they be okay with that when I'm the patron at another store? If I need to go to the restroom, let me go to the restroom. I don't even mind having to get a key, okay? I'll get the key if that's what it takes to keep them, safe and secure or whatever. But when you need to go to the restroom, you need to go to the restroom. So I'm over that. Second thing, I hear a lot of people talk about this, and a lot of my sweet friends, even on Facebook, and I just want to give you the other side, the other perspective here, and that is about driving in the left lane and how angry people get if you are in the left lane and they are really wanting to, let's just be honest, they're really wanting to exceed the speed limit. That's what they're really wanting to do a lot of the time. I know you got to pass, sometimes I get it. But let me just speak from my side of things, from a person who generally does not go very much over the speed limit. I'm not going like 40, 45, but I'm also not going 70 and 75 in a 55 miles per hour speed zone. Okay, I'm not. When I get in that left lane, I do pass occasionally, but the majority of the time, when I'm in the left lane, I have to turn left. I have to turn left. I'm sorry if that bothers you and it messes up your little schedule for the day, that you might have to slow down just a little bit till I can turn, but that's why I'm over there. And I bet there's a lot of other people out there like me. Also, I don't ride in the left lane for miles and miles and miles until I have to turn. I don't do that. because I know that's what some people are going to say. I don't. However, if I'm in a situation where I think it's going to be hard for me to get over, I will go ahead and get over, okay? So just try to remember that sometimes when people are in that left lane, they're just not over there to try to make you mad and to try to slow you down, which, you know, you probably do need to slow down some. They may be over there because they've got to turn left. So just give them a little bit and see if that is the situation, because, you know, it may be. Because I get really aggravated with people who get right on my tail. I'm not an aggressive driver. I'm really not. I'm not going to be swerving around, beeping my horn, doing this. I'm not. It's not worth it to me. It's not worth it because there's too many crazy people out there. It's not worth it. But, you know, just... can you be a little patient, just see, because maybe that person has got to turn, okay? You know, and it could be an elderly person. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm not elderly, thank gosh, yet, but it could be. It could be. And maybe they're just doing the best they can. Just a little grace, okay? So that's something I'm over. Now, the main point of this video, and this is what I'm really, really over, and I kind of had this epiphany this weekend. Y'all know I've been having a lot of these little epiphanies since Christmas of all the things in my 50s that I'm feeling real strongly. So this was my new one this weekend. And hear me out before you get angry with me. I am tired of all of the stand-on policy people out in the world. Now you may be thinking, Tish, what are you talking about, stand-on policy people? Well, let me tell you what I'm talking about with stand-on policy people. And these people come in all ages, male, female, you know, it doesn't matter what age. They are these people that never want to consider any human factors in their policy. And they are, this is the policy, sorry Hampton, and I am standing on it. Now listen, let me just tell y'all, I understand you got to have rules and you got to have policies. I get it. I mean, I'm not questioning that at all. However, in circumstances in life, I think this is very valuable, and I'm understanding it better the older I get. Your policy is not nearly as important as the people that you are enforcing that policy on. Now, let me give you a few examples that just kind of came to my memory as I was having this epiphany this weekend. When Hope was maybe 3, 4, I don't know, you know, because time's a mystery. When you get to this age, you can't remember how long ago things were. But she was young. She wasn't in school yet. We had to go in a bank, and the bank is no longer there, so I'm not talking about any bank that's here now. But we had to go inside the bank, she and I, because we had to set up, I don't know, an account, or if it was a checking account, a savings account, something. So we actually had to go in an office and, you know, set it up, and I had to fill out all the paperwork, and I was by myself. Trent wasn't with us. It was just us. And bless her little heart, she had to go to the bathroom so bad, and I knew she did. You know, we'd had a little drive. We'd been probably doing some other things, and by the time we got in there, she really needed to go to the bathroom. And I told this lady, and this lady was older than me, so I'm sure she'd had children, more than likely, and dealt with some of this, and she sees little Hope, okay? And I said, she has got to go to the bathroom so bad. Can she please go and let me take her, and then I'll finish this. No, we don't have a public bathroom. I'm not asking you about a public bathroom. I didn't just pull over from the road and say, hey, can I use your bathroom? I'm in here conducting business. And my little child, who probably even hadn't been potty trained that long, she needs to go to the bathroom, okay? No, you can take her over to McDonald's, or, you know, gave me a couple of places like that to take her, because she couldn't go in the bank. So Tish at that time went along with it. I was like, okay, because I knew she had to go really bad. But Tish in her 50s, if I had to do that over again, I would do it a whole lot differently. So anyway, you know, like I said, back then I was younger and I did it and came back. Today, if I had to face that little situation, I'd probably just say, well, you know what? We're going to go to the bathroom somewhere else, and we're going to go do our banking somewhere else. Because, you know, y'all, come on now. You know, certain situations, you got to think about what you're talking about here and not just the policy, okay? Now, another situation that just flashed in my mind, and this happened recently. Trent and I were about to go to his first doctor's visit after he hurt his knee, and we're sitting in the office, and this little elderly lady walks up, you know, to sign in. She was in her 80s, I know. And bless her soul, she said, you know, said her name, da-da-da. Well, the girl at the desk, she was younger than me. One of them was probably my age and or older, and the other was probably younger. And she's at, you know, at her little desk, and she's looking on her computer, and she says, well, you have a $50 payment on your account because click, 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 you missed your last appointment. And the poor little lady, she's like, what? I missed my appointment. She said, I didn't know I had an appointment. And she goes, well, you know, we try to send those memos. We sent you a text. Should have got an email, da, da, da. She's in her 80s, okay? It made me so mad, and I felt so sorry for the little lady. And then they give her this, you know, big old stack of stuff she's got to fill out. And I'd already told Trent, I said, if she starts struggling with that, I'm going to go over there and help her. And she was right behind us, so I kind of keep an eye on her. And she did fine. She seemed to do okay. And then she goes up there, and because we'd been there for a while. She'd been there for a while too. And she says, do you think that I'm going to be called back soon? Because she said, I drove myself, and I can't see well enough to drive at night. And, you know, it gets dark early now. She said, so if it's not going to be soon, I'm going to have to go on because I can't see to drive at night. Y'all, that's a legitimate concern. I feel that way myself sometimes. But I'm sure by the time you get that age, and she's by herself, I thought she was doing good just being there by herself doing all of it. That is a legitimate concern. Oh, well, we're working on it. You'll be called back soon. So we get up there. It's our turn. And I just said, first thing I said was, I feel sorry for these older people trying to do all this stuff because I know it's difficult. It's difficult for me sometimes too. I feel sorry for them. Oh yeah, I know. Well, you know, we try to help them the best that we can. I'm like, do you really? Do you really? And then when we get called to go back, I just said, listen, if she needs to go before us so she can get home before it gets dark, push us back and let her go on in. You know, Trent was like, yes, well, you know, we can wait. And they looked at us like, I mean, like they couldn't believe that we would say that. You know, it's like, oh, no, we're going to get her. She's going to be fine, you know. But that's what I'm talking about, the stand on policy kind of people. I mean, y'all, there has got to be, I don't know, you know, and you may say, well, the people above us make us do it, whatever. Well, whatever. I guess you got to live with your own conscience. But there needs to be some grace in some of these things that can help people. Because when you operate that way and everything is just strictly stand on policy, well, I don't know, maybe that makes you may make more money that way. You probably do. But is that really the right thing to do regardless? I mean, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes it's just like, what is the right thing to do? When I was probably in my 20s, I had a tooth problem, really, really bad. And I ended up having to have a root canal. Well, then I ended up having to have that tooth removed and had to do an implant later on, and was like right after. And, you know, I told the dentist that did, I was like, you know, and it was expensive to do. Too bad, honey. It is what it is. And I mean, I get it. I know they can't do work for free. I get it. But, you know, even just a small amount sometimes to say, you know, listen, I know that this happened. We're sorry that it happened. I'm not saying take responsibility for the fault always, but just offer, you know, offer a little peace offering here. Offer an olive branch. You know, I would be happy to refund da-da-da-da, or give you this credit for something. Just kind of a, you know, I don't know, just like I said, an olive branch, just to show that you do care. There is some common courtesy there, and you do care. So I am sure that, now you just start thinking about this, what I'm telling you. I stand on policy, people. I want you to think about some of those people that you've encountered in your life. Because I bet if you start thinking, I have a few more examples that I'm not going to share because I don't want some of the people that they are about to hear me saying it. Nothing that's happened recently, but I do have some things that have happened in the past that, again, it's the whole common sense logic kind of thing to me. And if you've been in the school systems or you've worked in the school system, let me tell y'all, I'm just going to go ahead and tell you right now, the education system is a prime example of stand on policy and don't use common sense. Now, I'm just going to tell you that's the truth. And anybody that's been in the school system for a while, you know I am speaking the truth. Some of the policies that we have in place are just stupid. They really are. And they don't take into account the children, the parents, any other circumstances. And I've experienced some of that too. See, I'm getting fired up just thinking about it. So there you have it, folks. There you have it. A few things that I am over in my 50s. You may not be over them. That's fine for you, but I am. So just know that if you're dealing with me in any of those situations, I may not change your mind. But if I need to go to the restroom in your place of business, please let me go. If I'm trying to turn left, please stay off my tail. And if the policies need to be tweaked, or you might need to consider the human factor when you're dealing with me, please do that. Because it's not going to leave a real good opinion of me, of you in my mind if you don't. People are more important than policies. See you next time.